I'm awaiting the inspection report, the report that forced the closing of the Villa del Sol condominium.
So it's beginning. 11 people in this Villa del Sol Condo Association here in Jensen Beach, Florida, were just told they have to evacuate their condos because they're not structurally safe. Who's next? Well, keep watching. We're going to talk about it. Hey everybody, I'm Palm Beach's Paul, your local realtor and guide to South Florida living, and welcome back to my channel. So if you've been following my condo series, you know that the state of Florida is in a condo crisis. Would you believe me if I told you there was a condo crisis headed for Florida? A financial tsunami of epic proportions? Well, you should, and today I'm going to tell you why. I've been talking about this for the past year, and my recent videos talked about all the assessments that a lot of the buildings were getting, and those assessments were due to the condos being forced to have inspections, right? Milestone inspections, CREDTS, structural integrity reserve inspections, and this condo building behind me was just going through one of those inspections when they found that 3 of the buildings were structurally not safe for living in, and they made everyone evacuate immediately.
One condo owner showed us a main support bar that appears to be eroding and concrete at the base that appears to be chipping away.
So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've been talking about the condos and the issues that have been happening with the insurance prices going up and causing the HOAs to go up. And all this stems from the collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside about 3 years ago. So, and after that collapse, the state of Florida started to mandate that buildings that were 3 stories or taller or within a few miles of the ocean and also a certain age had to have what's called a milestone inspection, where they go in and they look at the structural integrity of the building. And so a lot of these buildings in the state of Florida are now going through this, and this building behind us was in the middle of theirs when they found that the buildings were not structurally safe. Now, I don't know to what extent the buildings weren't safe. I didn't see the report. I don't have access to that. I just know from the local news that the people were told they had to evacuate their buildings. There was 11 residences. There was 11 residents who had to immediately evacuate and go find a place elsewhere, which from what I've heard, they all did. But where is the next building going to pop up where this happens? Because all of these condo buildings in the state of Florida that meet the requirements are going to be forced to have what's called the milestone inspection. They'll have to get these inspections done before December 31st, depending on the age of this year. Some may have until next year to get the inspection done. But, you know, how many other buildings throughout the state of Florida may find that they're not structurally safe, that people don't know right now whether they're actually safe or not? And this particular building is just north of Martin County, which is where Stewart is, and Stewart's about 45 minutes north of West Palm Beach. And we're over on the Barrier Island, over here on Hutchinson Island, and this condo is right along the ocean. Just on the other side, which I can't get to, is the beach. And so I'm not sure what they found that they said wasn't safe, but they did make the people evacuate. Now, from the report I read online, there were 36 units in all at Villa del Sol that were evacuated. There were 11 residents that were actively living there, and all those 11 have, been evacuated. They moved out. And well, where they're staying, I don't know. They all found places, I guess, but if that happened to most of us, where would we go, right? Fortunately, they do have a place to stay as far as we know. And the question is, when will they be able to go back? They're not sure when, but they know they can't go back right now. And basically, from what the report was saying was, they were doing their inspection, right? They're doing their milestone inspection, and the engineer saw something that he structurally, that he didn't think was safe, and he immediately told the appropriate people, and they in turn got in touch with the property manager and told these people they need to evacuate. So, as I said, this has happened before. After the collapse of the tower in Surfside, there have been something like 26 different places, buildings throughout South Florida that have had the same similar situation.
Breaking news, dozens of families rushed out of their homes. The reason? The very building they lived in deemed unsafe.
Hundreds of tenants ordered to leave this Miami condo.
And they didn't give us a warning. They didn't tell us anything. This is unacceptable.
this isn't the first time this has happened, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last. But this is what's going on. This is all due to the collapse of the Champlain Towers condominium building and the aftermath of that with all the new regulations.
Brand new information tonight on the investigation into what caused the collapse of Champlain Towers South in Surfside.
So all these condo buildings, all these older condo buildings are going through these milestone inspections and these structural integrity reserve studies, or SEERs for short. And they're having to have these done, and many of them have to have them done by December 31st of 2024. As I said, some of them have until 2025 to get it done. And what they're doing is basically they have these reports, right? They have these engineers, these architects look at the buildings and look for safety issues. And then when they get those, they in turn give those reports to the association and say, hey, these are the issues that we found, and you have to fix these if they're structural in nature. It's a little bit windy out here, apologize. So then they in turn have to get quotes for the repair work, and that leads to the assessments, which if you watched my video a few weeks ago, some of these assessments are up to $30 million for the building, causing some residents to have to pay out-of-pocket assessment fees of up to $224,000 for some, even higher, up to $400,000 for some units. So, as I said when I made my video, this is a condo crisis. It's just progressively getting worse, and the amount of condos that are on the market right now is unbelievable. We're almost to 8 months of inventory, folks. The amount of condos that are available for sale have almost doubled since last year. Now I want to address something. I've had some people say, hey, you're just fear-mongering. No, I'm not. I'm delivering the truth. I'm a realtor. This affects me. I can't sell condos if people don't buy them, okay? And if people don't feel safe to buy a condo, I'm not going to have someone reach out to me and say, let's go buy a condo. Now, this isn't all condo buildings, right? Not all condo buildings are 3 stories or taller. Not all condo buildings were built 25, 30 years ago. There's many new condo buildings, but they will have to have these milestone inspections every 10 years going forward, unlike before where some of these weren't done for 40 years, which has led us to the point where we're at right now, where a lot of these buildings didn't have inspections done, or they knew of certain things that wanted to, or needed to be done, but they didn't do them because the board, right, had to have the homeowners, the condo owners, vote on it. And up until recently, they could vote no, we don't want to pay for those repairs. So therein lies the problem. They didn't do the repairs. Now a lot of people are being forced to do lots of repairs instead of a little repairs here and maybe a few repairs next year. But again, not every condo building did this. Lots of condo buildings did their due diligence and did what they had to. But as we're seeing, and the reports keep coming out, more stories about assessments and now people being forced out of their condos. But again, I bring this up because I had someone leave a comment about, oh, you're just a realtor and you're making money off fear-mongering. No, I'm a realtor telling you guys what's happening in my market in South Florida and even beyond. I'm up here in Martin County and Port St. Lucie County, north of Palm Beach County. It's happening, folks. Condo buildings that are old and, you know, maybe they just hadn't had the inspections done. They're now getting these inspections done because they have to, and they're finding problems. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that we'll hear this in the news. Hopefully we won't have any more tragedies like we had with the Surfside. But, you know, time will only tell. We hope that doesn't happen. And trust me, I have lots of people who want to buy condos. All right, this doesn't help me one bit. So no, I'm not fear-mongering. Trust me, what little money I make off of YouTube doesn't even come close to the amount of commission that I could make to take care of my family when I help people buy and sell condos. Although that's probably about to change, but that's a whole other story. Need to do a video about that, don't I? Now, if you look at these condos, let's try to zoom in on these guys. I don't know what they're doing. They could just be doing regular maintenance. But you can see a lot of them are shuttered up, right? They got their windows shut, the hurricane shutters, because a lot of these condos are vacation. They're winter condos, and people come down here in December and January when it's nice out. But you can see they got the scaffold up there, the little, whatever you call it, the little thing that they go up and down on, the little elevator for doing repairs. And who knows, maybe they're just painting, maybe they're just doing the rails. But you see a lot of that at a lot of the buildings throughout South Florida There's another one hanging on that side, right on the balcony. Actually, I can hear the drills, so they are doing some kind of work. Maybe they're doing work on the outside concrete. Not sure. Don't know the building. Don't want to assume, but I do hear some drills. But this is obviously a major problem and concern for condominium owners throughout the state of Florida. And guys, I'm obviously not the only one reporting on this. I know you've watched people like Michael Bordenero. He talks about this stuff every day. And some of the other agents throughout South Florida and even North Florida, Orlando, everybody's talking about this. I'm not the only guy that's bringing this to you. So, you know, for people to say I'm making money fear mongering, no, I'm not. There's a lot of realtors that are out here doing this and telling people what's going on. And I've always tried to bring you guys the truth about what's happening in South Florida. Go back and watch some of my videos and you'll see I've done pros and cons. I've never said Florida's a perfect place. So if you like these videos, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, leave a comment down below because I like to read your comments, even if they are dumb sometimes, you know, calling me out, saying that I'm doing stuff that I'm not. And share it with somebody. Invite someone to watch my YouTube channel. Maybe they'll learn something about South Florida. I appreciate it. You know, I'm sure this is not the last time we will hear this in the news about someone being forced to evacuate from their condos due to some kind of structural issue. You know, all these properties are right up on the ocean and the beach, so you know they're getting hit the hardest from the elements. But it could be buildings elsewhere too, just, you know, don't know. And that's why they're doing these inspections now. They've made it the law that they have to get them done so that these buildings can be safe and we don't have another you know, collapse and loss of life from a building. But only time will tell. We'll see what happens. But if you do get up to Jensen Beach where I'm walking, folks, this is a beautiful part of South Florida, and we're just over the Jensen Beach Causeway, and you go over the Indian River, and you come in here, which is part of the Intracoastal Waterway, and you come over here and you got all these beaches, and I mean, there's still free parking, which is absolutely amazing. It's really pretty up here. And then you keep going, and there's some really good fishing spots. So, and the beaches are nice. So, you know, if you want to get away from the crowds, this is kind of a nice place to come to. If you live in Jensen Beach, like my customers, David and Tiffany, who just bought here last year, they bought a place in a really neat community. They love it. It's got a small town feel. You got these little bars and restaurants. It's still a cool place. So, and no, I'm not telling everyone to move here for you Jensen Beach folks. I don't want you mad at me. Just, you know, come up here and visit. Or if you want to buy a house, then reach out to me. By the way, if you do need my number, it's right here. Just call that number. I'll be happy to talk to you about buying or selling real estate here in South Florida. And well, folks, we're going to keep watching the condo situation, and we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to get better, unfortunately, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see where it goes. So, all right, guys, listen, short video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys are staying safe. Enjoy, you know, your last bits of summer. For all the kids going back to school, hey, parents are happy. Sorry you got to go back to school, but we're happy you're going. And wherever you are in the world, get out and enjoy paradise. I'll talk to you next week.